Fight Club's first ever media output. Bit of an interview now with the main man himself, the promoter, Tom. He's going to take us through a little bit of who Float Flight Club are, what we can see moving forwards, and essentially give us the rundown of what's going on at Rhondda Rampage. So it's coming up end of May, the bank holiday weekend. We're all looking forward to it. I'm going to be commentating on the card. I was going to be fighting on the card, but I've got little rascals that I need to chase around, so that takes up all my time. But I'm excited to be there. I'm excited for this card. It's going to be a proper stand-up banger of a card. And we're really just going to go through and find out a little bit about the main man himself, what's his background in combat sports, so everyone can get a bit more of an understanding of what we've got on our hands. So, Tom, do you want to introduce yourself? Tell us what's going on. Who are you? What are you about?
Cheers, Cowboy. My name's Tom Harkin. As Calum said, I'm the promoter for Flow Fight Club Rhondda Rampage. I'm also the creator of Flow Fightwear, which is forging all the combat gear that we're going to be using in Rhondda Rampage, all our gloves, all our shins, everything. But yeah, a bit about me. So I started martial arts when I was about 12, 13. I was training in a small pub upstairs in a pub with a couple of people, the same people that still around the same scenes. Everyone's still around. Started when I was about 12. My first fight, I was 16. I fought on Mirth and Mayhem. That was back in the semi-pro rule days, where there was no bubble gloves
there's
then.
Not really lines. There's blurred lines.
It was just
Shut
cage.
up on the day, see what happens.
Yeah, cage, jump in, and whatever happens goes. But yeah, so that was my first one, and in all honesty, I just fell in love with it from then. Like I've always been around martial arts since being a kid. Like I said, since doing it then, and then it's like everything, innit? It just takes over your life. Like it did. It just took over. Like everything changed with it. Like my approach to things, my approach to other people, my approach to everyday life. Like doing something challenging is so rewarding, and then throughout the day, and you find, like, I know it's a bit cliche-ish, but it's so true.
I say this a lot. I've said it in job interviews actually, of where I think combat sports is good for everyone, and I think that people who have fought or have done anything of the sort are happy getting up early and doing something they don't want to do. Because as much as we're all like, yeah, fitness, whatever, people from the outside think we enjoy it. No one enjoys getting up in the morning and going for a run unless you're a psycho. So me having to know that I have to do that and get up and do the things I don't want to do makes me more resilient as a person.
Exactly.
And I think it's a benefit to everyone. I think I completely get what you're saying.
And like we've in Apollo, so my fight team now in Apollo, we've just started with kids classes. I've never really done it before, and I'll be honest, it's not like line up and let's do this and let's do that. In all honesty, it's just kind of like bringing them into the environment, into a gym environment, and trying to make it as fun as possible. Just because, like, I have guys who come in now, and they're worried about walking through the door, or they're like, because it's nerve-wracking. You're coming into a combat sports gym, it's like, oh, I'm walking into there and you don't know what these people are like, or like they fight for fun. There must be something fucking wrong with you to be fighting for fun, like, do you know what I mean? But
and with that, I think it's people's egos, and they misunderstand where you go in there trying to protect your ego, and you think everyone else in there is going to judge you, but it's the opposite. People in there most of the time don't have an ego. They've been G-checked every week.
So it doesn't
happen. And I like what you said about like kids classes, because I initially got involved in martial arts when I was 5.
Nice.
And I went to like a above the waist like karate kickboxing thing. My dad was there. My dad was I think he was a brown belt in it, or he got to like brown belt or black belt level, and he took me down, and I never liked it. So I've been left-handed, so they stood us up and lined us up, and I initially went straight back, went like left foot back, and I kept having to get moved. I didn't like it. It was all very kata and regimented,
traditional.
And I left it, and I didn't do combat sports again until I was 15.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And there's like, because you just don't like it, and then after that, I went to somewhere which wasn't like that, and I was like, oh, this is the best thing in the world.
Exactly, and that's what I try and do as well. Like with the kids, especially, like you hit the nail on the head there. It's because you're a southpaw, right? Like you're a southpaw, so you're different, right? But people need to cater to that. They can't just go, right, he's a southpaw, he's got to fight orthodox now. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
You know, like I've watched you fight. I can see, I know how good your striking is, and you're a southpaw, you switch, you can do that. But then that's one of the things that you have with all these, like, the traditional
It bolts
gyms.
on afterwards. I think martial arts, and especially striking, which we're going to get into because we're both absolute lovers of swanging and banging. But it's much more of like, I think it's like a language, and that's why we can like. I always use the analogy of a language of where you can talk to someone and have a conversation, and that's sparring, or you can talk to someone and have an argument, and that's a fight.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I can say things in 100 different ways, and that's all the different expressions of striking that we've got. And I can keep my language very standard and regimented, and that's my normal stance. And I can add flourishes here and there, or I can change the entire way I'm speaking, and that's how I switch stance. So the deeper your vocabulary is, the more depth you have in a striking game. But you have to teach someone how to. I'm not going to ask my 1-year-old to explain to me quantum physics. She can say dada and mama, and I'm happy.
No, exactly, and that's the thing. It's like the fact that you've got the expression of something. There's always something that you can do with it. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can, you find something new. It's like, there you go, spinning back heel kick. Like the way that people throw that, or like a 1-2 to add to it. Like I said, it's just the expression. It's the freedom and the expression, and that's where flow was born from. Like flow fightwear was born from that. One of my kickboxing. So I when I first started, I started at 3D MMA, determination, dedication, and discipline. It's still running currently, but my head coach that was my head coach, he moved to he moved to Hong Kong, and he now trains in Impact MMA with I can't say his name, Alan Inglani, I think his second name is. He fights for one, heavyweight in one.
Oh,
he is massive. He's
wait, the
Black Panther, they call him.
Yeah,
bro.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know who you mean.
Fridge with legs. Yeah, he is like that, right? And he is the most flexible. Yeah, the most flexible person ever. But anyway, so my coach Kevin, he moved out today. But I used to have obviously another team that I would train with when he was here, and like one of our kickboxing coaches we brought in, he used to say to us it was all about the flow, and that's where flow fightwear come from. It was referring back to the traditional trying to change everybody. It was just kind of like, find what you're comfortable in, like.
And there's that Bruce Lee ism there of like flowing like water and taking what's useful, discard what's useless.
Yeah.
And that's why, honestly, the reason why, like, I initially, like, when I reached out to you guys to get involved with like Flow Fightwear, and then obviously with Flow Fight Club and stuff, is just I like the ethos behind it. I like what you guys do, and I like the approach. It's not so like bogged down in the standard tropes.
No.
And it's fluid, it's fun, it's flexible, it is whatever you want it to be.
Yeah.
And that's what I kind of want to move on to, of why you created this show. Because I know you've been involved in shows before, like we've collaborated before on Call Out Championships down in Cambridge in England, and then like I fought on Extreme Promotions up in Runcorn. You've been involved in other shows, but it's the first one that you've done.
Yes.
And why have you gone down that approach? I know there's merits in being involved, and then there's merits in being the man. Is it that, or did you want to create control? What is it? Because we want to brass tacks it.
Do you know, in all honesty, right? So, in reference to Extreme, as we both went to, I always had the idea. Like, I spoke to Adam about it, on many occasions. Like, originally, there was a couple of ideas that me and Adam floated together that we were going to put on down here, and then it was just it was something I always wanted to do. I said from the start, it was like, right, we're going to launch the brand as soon as the brand is going, and now it's starting to move now. Like, not going to name drop, but like there's people that are fucking recognized fighters within the UK, within Europe, like, and then going to like Violent Bob Ross and Jason Miller, and just other people, that I've seen it, and then what that done, it just pushed me. I was like, you know what? All right, cool. I've done one bit. What's next? And that's,
I was at the UMAC at the weekend in Milton Keynes, the jiu-jitsu competition, and I saw so much Flow Fightwear stuff, and it was just, my eye just kept popping to it, popping to it, and I was like, it's taken off. Like, there's There's people about.
It's mental, man. Like in all honesty, like the whole flow thing, like when I said, like when I started the brand, I was like, right, I'm gonna put everything into the brand. And then as soon as the brand started going, and then the brand's moving and moving and moving, and then the other side to him, like, and this is like the biggest thing that I like to say to everybody is, if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be where I am. Right? I can sit here and I can put fucking hours and hours into designing clothing. Oh yeah, let's share this. Let's share. But unless you guys are trusting me in bringing it, and you guys using it, that's where I get it from, and that's why. Like when you just said there in reference of like it's freedom, is you're allowed to do what you want. Because in my eyes, I remember the first ever pair of gloves I ever bought, right? And RDX, then blood splatter ones. You know those blood splatter ones? Every single person had a pair of them, right? Because they were the only pair of gloves you could buy. Or you'd have to wait for one of the boys to come back from Thailand who's been out there for 6 months. Poor bastard now has to bring home 3 suitcases full of a new kit because you can't get it anywhere. And that was my thing, man. Like when it all come to it, it was like, right, I just wanted to be as creative and as free as possible. And then that's where Flow Fight Club was born then, because there's so many people, like fighters around the UK, around everywhere in it, everywhere that we're trying to aim for. There's so many fighters that are not getting showcased right, if you know what I'm saying. Do you know what I mean? Like you get people that, I'm not gonna talk shade on any promotions, right? But like you get some promotions that don't even take photos at the show, or excuse me, that don't even do a video of the show, or just little things. And one of the things that I've done with FFC is like you said, I've been to so many. I go to them consistently, but I've kind of like just took what worked from everyone, took what didn't work from everybody, and then just put it together and just come up with something new. Like, because in all honesty, like I'm not gonna lie, right? The venue that we're in is perfect for our first one, right? It's a proper, as everyone can tell from listening to this, I'm probably the most Welshest person you'd meet, like, but it's so Rhondda, it's so like, I don't know how to describe, but it's so on the level of like what a fighter is actually, where you start. But even though it's somewhere where you start, it's the platform to skyrocket you, and that's the only way that I want to do it. I don't want to do it where you turn up, you have a scrap, and then you have a bottle of wine. But I remember fighting in Ely. I fought in a place down in like Cardiff way, right? And I literally had a bottle of Prosecco after it for fighting. Like, do you know what I mean? Turned up, you didn't. It was like the weigh-ins were. It was just chaos, and like I don't want anything like that. Like that's the thing. Like that's why I'm putting so much time into FFC. Like with the commentary team, like we got you coming down for it, and we got somebody else I can't release yet, but we got another guest commentator, and it's the fact that we've got your input, and then her input is going to be and this is such an awesome thing for the fighter just to watch back as well. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I want with FFC. I just wanted, in all honesty, the platform that we're building is the platform for fighters. It's not about us. It's just for every fighter who puts a pair of gloves on and goes, right, oh, what's next? And that's the way I want to do it. I just want to make sure that when you come down and everybody sees you fight, then they can't wait for your next one, or they can't wait for our next one, and they just wait this.
And I think so. As someone who's like fought on varying cards of like size, especially of like I fought in like massive, like quite a massive venue in Birmingham. I fought in small venues. I've done commentary at like the Call Out Championships one was the weirdest place for a fight. It was tiny. It was like a church hall. It was absolutely tiny.
Mental.
And I think what I know that you want to do is like you want to create like a brand loyalty. And if a fighter doesn't, if a fighter wants to fight on your promotion, I think that means a lot. And it's not like where's my next one; it's when's the next FFC card.
Exactly. You hit the nail on the head, but it's more about like again, reference back to is about you guys. Like obviously with fighters themselves, like I said, like especially just starting or amateur or whatever, until you get recognized. I know that now, it's a lot different to what it was 10 years ago. After COVID and everything, it's a lot different to what it used to be, because you're getting kids who are fucking signed to like Venom and all of this stuff. So it's great that people are starting to understand and recognize that martial arts is a great way of going. But you also get then the kids who are not getting exposed like this in these type of gyms, these big gyms. You know, you get these teams. Like I'm one of those teams, right? Like we one of those teams. We don't advertise. The only reason we don't advertise is because we got a great gym, but it's not massive. Do you know what I mean? So like you've got these people, like our main event. You got these people who are fucking top class fighters who are like, but they've got nothing there to show where they've been. But then in their community, they walk past, like as soon as these posters were getting put up, like people were walking past and they were coming up to people and they're like, fuck, you fight for a title, you? And that's what I mean. That's what I want. Like for example, as a poster, I don't know if this is going to show, it might not, but like,
no, I think it worked. Maybe. Yeah, there we go. Oh no. Stick in front of your face.
There we go. Yeah.
Go in front of your face. No, you've disappeared. Visibility cloak. Never mind.
Anyway,
it's up on the Instagram.
Yeah, it's up on the Instagram. But that, like, with that, like, that was a thank you to another designer, Liam W Designs. But like, with that, it was the fact that again we put all of the as many fighters on that as possible. It was trying to push people in, and again, like I said, it's just the taking away, dropping the bad stuff that I've seen and giving people the good stuff. Like there's so many shows that we were Adrenaline Fight Night, one of the best. Stand Up War, one of the best. Golden Ticket Fight Promotions, again, one of the best for MMA. They fucking top tier. Adrenaline and Stand Up War in South Wales. They're the two. They're like our main two. I wouldn't like they're the other two stand up shows, and then you've got Welsh Combat Series. But those two, like with James Wallace and Coach Giffey, like they run it, and that's what I'm saying. Like I took the stuff that they do, and brought it into what we're doing. Like Wally, if I'll be honest, if it wasn't for James Wallace, like I would probably rip my ear up by now. He's getting a phone call off me. Just the little things you don't even think about, but it is, and that's like I said, that's what I want to do. I just want to make sure that everybody comes down and just blows.
And I think there's merit in also the making the fighters feel important, because there's nothing worse than going there and feeling a bit lost.
Yes.
And not like then feeling like you're just a cog in the machine, and that like the promoter's getting all the money and you're just kind of there. And especially at like amateur level, you're not earning a purse, and you kind of feel a little bit like exploited at points. But if you can give them that, like, for lack of a better term, that UFC experience of where they feel like they're part of the big show,
exactly,
you're going to get more out of them, and they're going to be more comfortable before they step in the ring of the cage,
exactly,
or anything like that.
Exactly, and that's why we brought some people like you down, to bring in for commentary, same as the guest commentator, even interviews. Like obviously, as we've spoken about, you're going to be the face of all the media. You're going to be doing all the interviews, and that's the things the fighters like you just said, especially at amateur level, you never get interviewed. When would you get interviewed as an amateur? Never.
Maybe after. Maybe after, and even then, sometimes it doesn't happen.
Yeah, or if you've done something spectacular, or you're like the last of the 3 fights or whatever. But we want to do it where every fighter does, and we want to give the fighter the limelight. Like even our production, we put in a tail of the tape into the fight. Every fight gets sponsored. Every fight there's always something to remember you by for fighting as well. Do you know what I mean? And that's, like you said, like you hit the nail on the head there. More of the UFC experience, and we're going to blow it out with the water with the FFC experience. Do you know what I mean? So that's the way that we're going to do it.
So FFC experience, we've got almost a full fight card. There's a couple blank spots on there that we can see. Going through the card, we've got obviously the main event, which was previously it's a new main event, isn't it?
It is.
It was previously something else, but now we've got a 10-ounce boxing 60-kilo title on the line.
Yeah, so
we've then got an 80-kilo boxing for the co-main, and then we have a 52-kilo title further down the card, K1.
Yeah, 52. That's one of those we keep that one for 2 minutes. That one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we'll keep
okay. So that one's still not confirmed, isn't it? We've got a couple on through here, so just have a little petter through the card. Let's go on. Let's start at the top and work our way down.
Coolio.
Jory Lee Lewis against Shay Thomas, 60 kilos, 10-ounce boxing. He's one of your boys, isn't he?
Yes.
Jory Lee.
So Jory is the Penrys King, as that's his nickname. So Jory actually come to me, I think 7 weeks ago, maybe 2 months ago, if that. Basically coming to the gym with one of the boys. We got on really well. We started having a chat and stuff, and he knew about the show. there's actually a bit of a story to this one. So he knew about the
Okay.
show, and we were talking a little bit. And he's a southpaw, very tech.
I've seen a bit of him on Instagram.
Yeah,
Good head movement, very fast.
yeah,
Looks
he's
snappy. Reminds me a little bit of this is a very, very, very good compliment, but a
yeah.
little bit of the way, in a way, the Japanese
Oh,
boxer,
okay, yeah,
the way
nice.
he snaps his shoulders into shots, reminds me a little bit of that. If he sees this, his head better fit through doors, because that is a very, very big compliment that I'm giving. But we'll have to see on the night and
Yeah,
then go from there. But if he can channel a bit of his inner monster and get a
yeah.
nice sharp finish, then definitely we might need to change his
I
nickname.
know, I know. So with Jory, yeah, so Jory, like I said, Southpaw, been with me for a couple of weeks. Basically, there's another lad, Joe Peter Lee, the problem from
Yes.
Lincoln Fight Factory, JPL. Now, JPL is, and I take my hat off to that kid, man. Like I've watched every one of his fights. He fights Terminators just for a laugh. Like, do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
he went up in weight a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah,
I was having a chat with him on Instagram, and he went up in weight a couple of weeks ago to just have a scrap. And I'm like,
yeah,
you're mental.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you're mental.
I know,
Great, love it.
I know.
Stop it,
That's exactly what I
but love
said,
it.
bro.
Great.
That's
Do it when
exactly.
we can then benefit.
Yes, that
Stop,
was. Yep,
stop going away and
yep.
doing it for nothing.
Yeah, exactly
But
that.
class.
But yeah, so basically I was working late one evening, and I was staring at the matching list that we have. And I mean just staring. I had, like, when you split your screen, so I had half the matching list,
Yep.
half what I was going on. I just couldn't concentrate on what I was doing. And I kept seeing Jory and I kept seeing JPL. And with the weights between the two of them, I was like, right, okay, let's see what we can do. So I offered Jory the 62-kilo title against JPL with 4-ounce gloves on. That was going to be our original main event. But then, unfortunately, JPL got pulled because of an injury. But we've got something planned for that in the next show. So
Lovely.
for everybody who's going to be attending, I can't say too much, but I definitely stick around until right at the end. That's
Oh,
one of the things I'm just going to say. That's one
I
of
better not get stitched up here. I'm a bit too chunky to make that weight. So I better not get stitched up here.
But yeah, that's the truth. But to the fight though, so we've got Jory versus Shay Thomas from the State of Flow Academy in just up near Liverpool. Now, State of
Yep.
Flow Academy, they've got there's a couple of other people who are going to be competing as well. They'll be competing from there too. Now, one of the things that I will say with the State of Flow Academy is that they come to fight, man. Like I've watched all of their fights. I've watched all of Shay's fights as well, obviously. And they come to fight. There's no in between, and I said to Jory after this, I was like, Jory, I know this isn't what we originally planned upon, and I know this isn't what we wanted, but look, this is going to be one of those ones that we are going to absolutely blow the roof off the place, because this guy is coming down. They've sold so many tickets to come down. They've sold, they've done so much. And I said to him, I was like, dude, I said, this is going to be one of the biggest fights that we can offer. And then he said to me, he was like, yeah, okay, it's a bit harder to cut and whatever. It's not what I originally wanted, but stuff happens. I said to him, I said, dude, that's the best way to have it. I said, that's the way we approach things, and we go from it. So still going for gold. But as I said, that's why I want everybody to stick around right at the end. Because
And seeing as though he's cutting a little bit more weight, we can then get We Prep to give him some rehydration and refuel for a bit of supplements, get him on the refuels. We've
exactly,
got enough sponsors here who all know their business. There's enough professionals around. So he's cutting a bit more weight, but we can get him packing on them pounds. What I'd like to see, though, is, I know it's a bit cheeky to do, but I'd like to see some on the day weigh-ins and see if we can get a record of these, just for my own little brain, because I like to see where people are at on the day as well, because
yeah,
it
of course,
impacts like the way I can see a fight going. Because if Shay's coming to fight, and I've watched a bit of Jory, he's slick, he moves, but I feel like there's going to be car crashes here, of
yeah,
where it's going to be move, car crash,
yeah.
and let's see what happens, because I'm quite excited for it.
One of the
And then
things,
go on,
sorry, on the
no,
car
go.
crash, on the car crash, one of the things that we have been working, because again, in reference to the fact that Jory's a southpaw, is we've got that ability to you know, you've got that ability to hit that crash, and when you do make that crash, you've got to do something with it, and that's one of the things we have been working. So, you know, it's yeah, you are right there with the car with the crashing, and yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be really fun.
That's the way I'm seeing it go. Anyways, I'm not giving like any predictions or anything like that. I might do it on the night and see while we're going how
Yeah.
things are going to go. But I can see lots of car crashes, lots of big moments.
Yes. Yeah.
But co-main event, we got 20 kilos bigger than these boys with
Yes.
Cornelius and Gareth Wright
Yeah.
coming in. So Lincoln, is that Fight Factory? Lincoln
Yeah.
Fight Factory.
Yeah. Lincoln Fight.
Lovely.
So we got a few boys from Lincoln Fight Factory. So big, you know, big love to them for making the, you know, the issue. So making the journey down. So massive love to them for doing
It's
that.
a journey as well.
It
I've
is.
driven from Lincoln to Liverpool,
Yeah.
and that was like an hour and a half because you have to go around like almost to Leeds to
Yeah.
come back yourself. There's no way to cut straight across.
Yeah.
So big
Much
trip for
love.
these boys down.
Yeah, much love to them, because in all honesty, one of the things that they've done is there was a couple of issues, like I said, obviously with the JPL. When that happened, there was a couple of issues, but one of the things that I'd be straight with was I offered Gareth Wright from Lincoln. I offered Gareth Cornelius within the first. He was the first fight that we got confirmed and offered, and they were the first team. Lincoln were the first team to give me 4 guys to fight, 4 guys to compete. So
So it's Gareth, Joe Westcott, so Big Joe Westcott.
Big
Then we've
Joe,
got Aaron Hillary and then Rowan Parrott, all
yeah,
from Lincoln Fight
Lincoln.
Factory. All boxing, is it?
Big Joe's
Big
fighting
Joe's on
K1.
K1, isn't he?
Yeah, Big Joe's K1, and then the other boys are boxing. But it's Lincoln versus Apollo. So it's
Nice. And they're
yeah.
all quite big lads as well, all in like 80 kilos up. So
Yes,
swinging, banging, see what
exactly.
happens.
And like I
Quite
said,
a lot, like quite a big card, so to speak. We've only got 3 fights which are under 70 kilos.
yeah, it's one of the big. That's one of the things with OBU is like we had a good couple of people sign up for the lighter weights and stuff, which was great. But the only thing that we were finding was there wasn't a lot of like for the boxing at lighter weights, they're all classed as amateurs, so then they can't fight on these cards. Do you know what I mean? So because we have been not going to say we're
There's bigger
unlicensed.
jumps. The bigger you get in boxing, the jumps are bigger.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
think also smaller guys now are getting involved in grappling
Yes,
a lot
yeah.
more. So they're more transitioning to MMA.
And that's one of the
what I'm finding.
things. That's one of the things we did have. We had so many people ask us for MMA, but the reason we never done MMA was because we were in a ring, and we said
Let's be fair here. It's because you don't want me there, and I'll just steal all the glory.
well, that is true. That is true. That is true. But it's one of them. I said because obviously it's, you know, yourself, me, and Liam along with it. Like I said to Liam, and I said to him, I was like, dude, I was like, for the first one, let's just get this ring done. Let's just get it done. Let's just get it out of the way. And then we'll start, you know, then we'll start busting out the
Yeah.
you know, because we've got it. We've got a option for the cage. There's
going to be teething problems with the first show. As much as we all want it to go as smooth as possible, and we've put the planning in to go as smooth as possible, there's going to be teething. There is. So, and I think the setup that we've got now, I think everyone's a little bit more familiar with. It's a little bit like not simpler, but
no,
that's simpler.
yeah,
And I think keeping it standardized and simpler, not to say inferior, but keeping it simpler, I think will make a better show than trying to add
exactly.
150 bells and whistles
Yeah,
that don't need to be there. Let's just make a good show, make the fighters have a good time, make sure the people who are in attendance have a great time, and that's the main part. Because at the end of the day, it's a show.
exactly.
Let's make it a show.
Exactly, and again, you hit the nail on the head there. Again, once more with the fact that like it was the fact that it's just there. It's just the show. You know, we're not. Don't again look right like the fact that I'd love to you know to do it 1,500 tickets or whatever. But like at the same time, I understand you can't run before you walk, man. Do
Oh
you know what I
yeah.
mean? And that's one of the biggest things is like I just want to make sure that when when you turn up and you end up getting on you, that it just stands out. And that's the thing. And that's how we want it for everybody. And the best thing, that's why the fights are the way they are. You know, like we put the fight card in a certain way, just because when we put the fight card the way we have, like we've got boxing K1, but so it's the split as well. So you're not just going just boxing for like 5, 6, 7 fights. It's not like that. You know, it's the ability to we can mix it up as well. You know, so which just
Yeah.
makes it great. A certain way where it's you know where you're constantly engaged, and that's what we want. You know, like we just want the fact that when you come in, you understand what's happening, you understand where it's going, and you
Yeah.
understand what you're going to be watching. You know, like this is all we want, man, and that's the thing with it. And like I said, that's why we put so much into it. You know.
So how can people get tickets? That's the main thing. So
So
besides from the fighters, how many have we got left? Because I know the show's almost sold out. So people who do see this and want to get tickets or want to be able to watch it online, how are we getting about that? Who are we getting tickets off? Where are we viewing it online? What's going on?
so we ordered. So our capacity is 350. So we ordered 300 tickets. I've got, I'd say, about 33 left.
Wow.
Yeah. Now I've sent them to fighters. I've sent them obviously around. We have also got like a fighters allocation. So we've also got like a set amount of bands that are for all fighters. You know, when they come and they
Yep.
bring us stuff. But to get tickets currently, I'll be honest, the best way to do it is going to be contact us through Flow Fight Club on Instagram, and we
Okay.
can let you know how many tickets we've got left. Or the other one will be any of the fighters still have tickets. I think. Especially if you're around the Rhondda, there's a couple of the boys who've got tickets, but otherwise, if you're anywhere like externally with some of the other boys who've got the like Lincoln and stuff, I think there's like 50 of them coming down. There's 50 of
Okay.
them coming down. I think it's
Nice.
15 from Liverpool. So it's tough. Like we've got, it's nuts. I couldn't get over how quick we sold out. I'll be honest. Like I really couldn't get over how quick it was selling out. And then we've got no pay-per-view for this first one, right? But
Okay.
the one thing that I do want to say is the team of media production and the team that we've got that are going to be working on the actual editing of this. It's going to be, yeah, so it'll be live, uploaded to YouTube then. It'll probably be 2 days after, but we'll share each
Okay.
fight as well. But honestly, like as a full card, it's going to be extraordinary. Like the way that we're
Amazing.
doing it, yeah, we've got again, like I said, we were trying to not take as much from the UFC, but we're trying to build as much as we possibly can from what I've seen. And
Oh, of course. Like I think you'd be stupid not to. Because I
exactly,
think especially with what the UFC's been doing lately, of where anything before they'd gatekeep quite a lot,
yeah,
but have you
yeah,
noticed recently they've been putting everything on social media and they've
yeah,
been getting way more engagement. And I
exactly.
think that's the plan. So 2 days after, we're going to be seeing the fights on YouTube,
Yeah, two
etc.,
days
etc.
after. Yeah, so we've got
Cool.
the media, like I said, the media will be done. We've got captured by Jazz, so underscore captured by Jazz on Instagram. She's coming up to do all of the photography. Now,
Amazing.
yeah, Jazz, check her out on Instagram. She works with KGB and she does a lot of like combat sports photography. And yeah, she's gonna come up do all the photography. So, you know, it's gonna be again, like I said, it's just the fact of bringing the recognition that you actually deserve. You know, like I've planned a walkout for each fighter, so you get actually stopped. There's like a photo point, a media point. You know, just like
Sweet.
just like these little X's on the floor where you kind of get that little bit more out of everybody, and
Yep.
that's the thing. Like you know, like you said just now with the sponsors and stuff. That's one of the things I do have to. While it jumped into my head, then I do have to say thank you to every single one of them. You know, without them, like even from like our first sponsors was like Chapman Property Listing, and then to like Jordan Maiden with Awesome for Learning Drivers. Awesome Learning for Driving for them, and then going up to like AWH Building Merchants and Conk's Barbershop and Sidecoin and Forbidden Supplements. Like just the just the fact that we had so many people just turn around and go, yeah, I'm game. Let's go. Let's jump in
Yep.
and let's do as much as we can. So that just shows as well. That showed me and the fighters. It's like that if people are paying me money and I haven't even done nothing yet, what do you think we're
Exactly.
gonna blow? What do you think we are capable of by now? Do you know what I mean? And
Oh yeah.
that was my approach to everything. And on that, and another big one as well. No, not to blow too much smoke up his ass, but I just want to say a thank you to Liam as well because I said it to him yesterday in the gym. Like if it wasn't for him, like the card wouldn't be as heavy as it is. Like, and that's straight up. Like You know, I can be, as you said in referring to earlier about being the boss man and being in control. I honestly, like if it wasn't for him, like the card wouldn't be the way the card is. So like,
Oh yeah, of course.
yes. So everybody, when they do see him running around and fucking screaming at people and, you know, like telling every fighter to do what he wants, well, do it, whatever. He's the one who built that card. So I want to say thank you to him for that. Because, like I said, if it wasn't for him, you know, like I do as much as I can, but yeah, there's still so much more that everybody else does as well, you know. So, like I said, I want to say thank
Exactly.
you to him with that. So, but yeah, like it's just going to be in all honesty, like there's a couple of fights that I'm really looking forward to. Obviously we've got Gary Musgrove versus Rowan Parat from my gym. So Gary turned up. Gary fought White Collar once, and kind of he fell up. He come up short, and he come into the gym in January, and he said to me, he was like, "Look," he said, "I want to sort myself out. I want to give myself a new goal. And I want to do something." And you know, and that was it. And literally,
Yeah,
I'll be honest. I kind of grabbed him. I told him, "This is what you're doing, May the 26th." It was just like, "This is
you're
what's
doing it.
happening. This is
But
who you're
that's what you want
fighting."
from your coach. That's what you
Exactly.
want.
And
I think that there's merit to that, and for me personally, I respond better to that kind of
yeah,
stimulus.
same
Where
as
I
me.
like being like I like being shouted at, and I like being told what to do.
Yeah,
I don't like. I think a lot of coaches back off and let you do your own thing, and that's
yeah,
where you can see the gyms that are have big camaraderie and do have a lot of success. Do have coaches which are there and telling you, being like, you need to do this and supporting them that way. Because tough love
yeah.
is tough love. It just, you're doing it.
It
Go
is,
and
and
do it.
yeah, and it's not just the tough love aspect as well. It's like it's you hit the nail on the head. The camaraderie, like I see the
Yeah,
boys all the time, man. Like if somebody starts to slow down, somebody's grabbing them. Do you know what I mean? Or you know, like just that you can do this last one. Come on, yeah.
yeah,
And don't get me wrong. I'll be honest, right? I'm an horrible bastard when it comes to training. Like I'll get you the worst of you, and like
oh yeah,
the only reason being is because I can't control the outcome of when you're in the ring. So if I can give
yes,
you absolute everything I possibly can when I
yeah,
can, and I know then that we've done what we can, and then whatever
oh,
happens,
100%.
we win or learn, and
Yeah,
that's
because
the
if
approach.
you're breaking in the gym over nothing and no one ever pulls you through it, you're gonna break in that fight.
Exactly,
Like
exactly.
you will never rise to the occasion. You
No,
fall to your requisite amount of training and skill.
yeah, and that's what I wanted to do with, and that's sorry, that's my mentality with the guys is like we will go until we break. There's no in between. There's no we'll have 10 minutes by now. Like as soon as 6 o'clock starts and we finish at 8:30, the round timer is going. So if that
Yeah,
round timer, if you're not the way you're supposed to be and do like, for this round, everyone's doing 100 burpees because of you, or
yeah,
everyone's lifting their legs up 6 inches off the floor until you come back. And the reason, again, the reason I know it sounds horrible, but like when one of the boys goes to the toilet and everybody's sat there with their legs 6 inches off the floor, waiting for somebody to come back, and they're just like, "Oh my god, my leg!" You know, it's the
yeah,
fact then that it does it builds the camaraderie, like, and
yeah.
that's one of the things that we did with the gym. You know, like we got, like I said, with Gary walked in at 100 and I think it was like 30 odd kilo. Gary's fighting at
Woo.
95. Yeah, he's fighting at 95 kilo, and he literally looks like a completely different person,
Yeah,
completely different person. And he's just working he's grafting, you know. And then you've got next up from mine, then you got Garrett Masters. Masters again, he never fought this, he's making his debut against Aaron Hillary. And that so Gareth Wright, who fought was fighting Kenny, has come down to Apollo and done some sparring with us. And
yes.
he said to me after, he was like, Garrett and Aaron is probably going to be fight of the night. And I was like, well, I can't wait for that one. The amount of
That was going to
time,
be good. Right
yeah,
after the break as well. Everyone
right
can
after
come
the
back.
exactly. And then we've got double Daryl Christopher, double barrel versus Big Joe Marston. Now, Joe, if you do hear this, right, please take this as a compliment. I'm not trying to be a dick, right? But the first time I seen your photo, I thought you looked like a super villain. Bro, right, Carl, I swear to God, right? JPL sent me the photo. He's just like, ah. And I looked and I sent it to Liam. I was like, bro, he's a super villain. He just looks like a villain. He's just massive. And he's yeah, Daryl versus him. So there's a reason why that fight is the way it is so I can come out and watch that
It's the
one.
feature fight. It's the feature fight. It's going to be K1.
Yes,
It's that's the one that gets everyone hyped up. Hopefully, no one
yeah,
gets an adrenaline dump for the
I know,
Cornelius
I
fight.
know, I know. But like that's why we put that. Like they're the featured K1 bouts, Daryl and Big Joe. But
Nice.
Otherwise, like I said, it's just riling off. Like you got Tay versus Kester, which is a rematch. They actually fought before, and as soon as I released that fight, the amount of people were like, "That is going to be chaos already," and
Oh yeah,
that's what I mean. It's just those little like that's why we're trying to push these fights, man. Just trying to get everybody from every corner of where we can. Like
yeah.
we got Jovan Mastrovic coming down from GB Top Team.
Yeah.
He now have you ever watched him fight? I watched what
I'm
is
not, but I know a lot of boys from GB Top Team, and they're very, very good. They're
dude.
very, very good.
I watched
They
him
have a
last
very
night.
high level lot down there.
Yeah, I watched him last night. I watched his I think it was his kickboxing debut. He was in a cage, right? And he was I think it was stoppage in third. Dude, that guy's violent, man. And like me and him have been talking, and again, there's little pipelines that I've already set for everybody else. That like with him as well, he's going to be dangerous. But again, this is what I'm saying. This is why we're bringing down these people. Like from GB
Yeah,
Top Team. Like you come to the Rhondda, like you're one of the best gyms in the UK, and that's not
yeah.
not taking any qualms at anybody, but like
Oh
that's,
no, there's like GB Top Team, and then you've got Renegade,
yeah,
and then there's a couple others, but they're the big boys. Like
yeah,
they're the big boy gyms. You've got the UFC stars there. You've got the big talent. That's it. Like they're shoot fighters. They're the staples.
yeah, and that's what I mean. It's like when we're bringing in those type of people, you're just like, well, there's
Yeah,
obviously that's what I want to bring. I want to bring like the best of the best down here to fight the best of the best from you. You know,
exactly.
and that was one of the main pushes is like the English versus the Welsh thing, and like it works, especially where we are.
Yeah,
Like we're gonna be set like we can have Welsh flags around. It's just gonna be like I said. It's just that whole atmospheric build of just rampage basically, and that's where we want it to
exactly.
be in it. But it is it's just going to be in all honesty for if you are checking us out on Instagram, Flow Fight Club at Instagram, we constantly releasing fights. We constantly got we're bringing in the new sponsors. We've got special guests coming down. There's a couple that we mutually know as well that will be coming down. So it's just like I said, I just want to give this stage just to, as Paddy the Body says, and it just blow the fucking roof off the gaff, and that's pretty much it. Like, you know,
Exactly.
and that's it really. And yeah, I'll be honest, I just can't wait for. Sorry, my dog's getting up from underneath my desk. I just can't wait for actually for the date. I can't wait for everybody to come down and just to show what Flow Fight Club, and everybody who's involved are capable of throwing.
Oh, 100%. And I think it's a perfect time of the year as well. Hopefully the weather's a little bit nicer. Maybank holiday is the later Maybank holiday. So if for everyone doesn't know, later Maybank holiday, we're going to be blowing the roof off the gaff.
Yes.
Flow Fight Club. It's going to be amazing. Again, for anyone who is able to make it down, try and get tickets now before it sells out. No pay per view for this one, but you'll be able to catch all the fights a couple days later up on
Yeah.
the YouTube.
Yeah.
Again, show us the support. Keep an eye on the Instagrams, and hopefully we'll have some more interviews with the fighters as well.
Yeah.
Did you want to like? We're going to bring it to a close. Do you want to and if your last few bits?
Yeah. So check us out, as Calum said, Flow Fight Club on Instagram. Please check out our sponsors as well. I'll again, if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be where we are, and that's the truth. So I just want to say thank you to every single one of them. And there are, like the fact that the fact that you all trusted us so soon. So I just want to say thank you to them, and a special thank you to AWH, Aaron Hillary's Merchants, Sitecoin, We Prep, Skinny Brands, Nails by Sancha. We've also got Jordan Maiden for Learner. Sorry for driving. There's so many that I want to say thank you to. Again, Kong's Barbershop, We Prep, Chapman, Forbidden Supplements, which are going to be setting up on the night. So we're going to have a stall from Forbidden Supplements. They're going to be there. So there's going to be, so you can purchase anything that you need. The Forbidden Supplements have actually come in, and they were the ones who sponsored the gloves as well, as everybody's seen. So it's
That I
just.
will be stealing. There's nothing you can do about it. I
As
will steal a pair of those.
Callum's already shotgunned a pair, but it's just again, it's just a thank you to everybody really, and One of the other ones is check us out on Instagram. Like I said, Flow Fight Club, Rhondda Rampage. You've got Flow Fightwear. If there's anything that you need custom brand, any custom fightwear, please just contact Flow Fightwear. But otherwise, if not, just check us out. Can't wait to see you on May 26th. And £20 a ticket. What else can you do on a bank holiday Sunday, innit?
Exactly. Plenty of blues, plenty of booze, plenty of blood. That's what we want.
Exactly. So
all right.
Awesome.
All right, I will speak to you soon. Again, if you want to hear my dulcet tones, I'll be on commentary as well. But yeah, much love to you all.
Awesome.
Have a great day.
Awesome.
See you later.
Thanks very much. Bye.